I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of Guns and Gears. Welcome to today's show. We have a great program for you, and we're going to start off doing a little shooting. Let's shoot some balloons out here at about 100 feet. This is a gun that's commonly recognized as an FNFAL, which we will have on the program at a later date, and it's a great long distance shooting gun. Here's another gun, the Dan Wesson in .460 Rowland, this big revolver. I'll tell you what, let's start off by shooting a single action revolver. A single action like this Ruger Super Blackhawk. Yes, we know they're unloaded. We've checked them and checked them. This is a single action revolver, but let's make it a little more interesting. Let's use this single action revolver from North American Arms, the little Black Widow in .22 Magnum. See how it looks. Now, just to prove that wasn't a fluke, let's shoot another one. Again, we're out here at 100 feet. I rest my case. Now, some of you may be familiar with the small revolvers from North American Arms, and tell you what, friends, these are small or diminutive in comparison to, say, this big Dan Wesson revolver or the Ruger Super Blackhawk here. And when I said single action revolver, and again, we know that these guns are unloaded. We check them and check them and check them to be sure they are. If we're going to handle guns, we're going to show them they're going to be unloaded. Anyway, on a single action revolver, the hammer must be cocked for every shot manually. You can't pull the trigger. Nothing happens when you pull the trigger. You can't pull the trigger expecting to manipulate the cylinder. It must be cocked, and then the trigger's pulled to drop the hammer there. A single action, only has one action type, single action revolver. Well, the little North American Arms revolvers are operated the same way, a single action. It must be thumb cocked, the hammer must be cocked for every shot. And some might say, well, what is the use of a tiny revolver? All kinds of uses. In fact, a lot of police officers rely on these little guns from North American Arms. They carry them in concealment, and of course, in many states around the country, we as civilians, not law enforcement people, not military, we as civilians can legally carry concealed weapons. And let me tell you what, this little gun in .22 Magnum is no joke. You know, a while back we featured a chronograph on the program, and this device, of course, measures the speed of the bullet. Let's take a standard velocity .22 rimfire cartridge in this full-length rifle and see what the numbers are as far as how fast it goes on the chronograph. Well, it went 1,085 feet per second. Now then, let's try the same drill with our little North American Arms in .22 Magnum. Let's see how fast it goes. 1,119 feet per second with a .22 Magnum in the little mini revolver, and our experiment shows us that this little gun can equal the velocity of a full-size rimfire .22 rifle in such a compact package. Let's take a close look at the little Black Widow from North American Arms. It is indeed a small package, but as we can see, it is very potent indeed. The way the gun works, of course, this one has really terrific sights, even an adjustable rear sight here on this little gun. Let me show you how it works. We put the gun on half cock. We're going to take the cylinder out, pull this little piece down right here, and slide forward, and now we can take our cylinder out. And you see these little notches between the holes? This is the safety notch. When the gun, or if it's going to be carried loaded, the hammer should be down and in one of these notches. Let's go ahead and load it. there, yeah. All right, slide it down and see it just turns and locks in place. Let's see what the little gun will do. Really excellent performance. The folks at North American Arms sent us a spare cylinder in 22 long rifle so we can shoot it as well in the little gun. Friends, that is excellent performance. Again, shooting through the camera out here at a few yards, that's an 1.5 inch group there with the little 22 cylinder in the North American Arms mini revolver. Some time ago we showed you the concept of snake shot, or a shot shell in a handgun cartridge. This is 44 Magnum. Well, also they make shot shell cartridges in 22 Magnum, and let's see just how potent they are. We've got our facsimile of a snake out here, and let's just see what this 22 Magnum snake shot will do here. There we go. Indeed. We see literally hundreds of holes here in the drawing of the snake. Of course, we shot 5 times, of course, but I'm talking about there are holes all over this water bottle here. Certainly we perforated the snake really, really well. So this would be a great concept as a camp gun, something that we certainly might want to really consider for protection from small varmints. You know, the big guns are fine, but they're a lot harder to carry. There may be situations that you simply cannot carry a big gun. For a backup gun or a trail gun, or again that situation if you're licensed to carry, this may be the only gun you possibly can carry concealed. And let me tell you what, they are effective. For more information on the entire line of North American Arms guns and accessories, call them at 800-821-5783.
Stay tuned for more Guns and Gears.
Attention 1911 and AR type rifle fans, if you want the ultimate in quality, reliability, and accuracy, call Les Baer Custom and order the guns America's top shooting professionals prefer. All Les Baer guns are hand-fitted and hand-finished for the maximum in precision and performance. Also, they offer a full line of custom 1911 and AR rifle parts. Call 309-658-2716, catalog only $2, or go to lesbaer.com. At 50 cents a gallon, who cares? At $2.50 a gallon, everybody cares. Enviromax Plus is a fuel catalyst, not an additive, that improves how fuel burns in your engine, gas or diesel. With Enviromax Plus, you can get up to a 35% increase in fuel mileage, plus better performance, improved emissions, and less engine wear. Call now and get Enviromax Plus.
Georgia Arms wants to be your ammo company. They feature a full line of best quality handgun and rifle ammo delivered right to your door at the lowest prices possible. Whether you have a 9mm or a .357 Magnum or a .454 Casull or one of the great .460 Rowlands guns, they've got your ammo. Maybe you want cowboy action shells or Precision Plus long-range hunting ammo with Nosler AccuBond bullets. Maybe you want components to load your own ammo. Well, call them to order 1-800-624-6861 or go online at georgia-arms.com.
Fun Ford Weekend is an organization developed by Ford enthusiasts to promote Ford drag racing and car show events. Fun Ford Weekend is dedicated to the growth and development of Ford performance. They provide an enjoyable and fun-filled atmosphere for racers and fans. Go to funfordevents.com and check the schedule to see which of the 14 events you can attend this year.
How would you like to expand the capabilities of your four-wheeler? Any hunter knows that the real work begins after the game is taken. Well, Papaw's game loader takes the hardest work out of bringing home the bacon. It's also a great tool to help around the farm and can lift and carry up to 250 pounds. The optional hoist will lift up to 300 pounds. If you would like to know more about Papaw's game loader, call 877-472-7297 or go to papawsoutdoorproducts.com.
We're so sure you'll love the DR Field and Brush Mower. We'll send you one to try out on your property for 6 months risk-free. If you don't agree that the DR is the easiest handling, hardest working field mower you've ever used, we'll take it back and we'll even pay for shipping both ways. Try out a DR Field and Brush Mower for 6 months risk-free. Call 1-800-354-4440 for further details or visit us online at drfieldbrush.com.
Hi, I'm Eric McBride with the Diesel Hot Rod Association, and we're here in Terre Haute, Indiana during the Shy Diesel Extravaganza.
This is our fifth year for this particular show here in Terre Haute, and what got us started to begin with was the turbo diesel register and the Dodge Cummins combination when it came out, and that got us started with a turbo diesel register rally, and then we grew from that, and then Ford came out with their diesel engine, and the GM was out with their diesel engine. So in 2000 we brought the show in here to the Vigo County Fairgrounds here in Terre Haute, Indiana. We're farm oriented as well, and so we also include a tractor pull along with it, and that is where we have got our initial growth into the performance market. The diesel pickups is the main objective of this show, and this is what's growing the show, and this is the excitement of the show on the performance that we are getting out of these new diesel engines has been astronomical.
Why don't you give us an update on where we're at with this dragster? I know that the viewers of Guns and Gear have seen it in the past, but where are you in the development and the progression that you've had with it so far this year?
This is our first year actually getting it out on the track and being able to make some exhibition runs with the car. And so now our big objective is to get the horsepower and the torque to the ground.
That's the challenge, and that's where we're really looking at these diesel engines. I mean, with the horsepower that they can produce and with the torque, really with the torque that they can produce, it's really something else. And have you got some good guess numbers on where you think your engine is? Now, this is the Dodge engine that you put in this dragster, right?
Yes.
Now, this is the 12-valve version?
Yeah.
So.
Inline 6-cylinder 12-valve engine. We've got water injection, twin turbo. Fuel injection system has been upgraded to in the vicinity of 800 cc's of fuel. We're running approximately 110 pounds of boost, and running water injection to cool it off on exhaust temperature. We've got a carbon fiber body, and we also have a carbon fiber wing, and so our goal would to be in the sixes and running 200 mile an hour in the quarter mile.
That'll really make some people take a look at the diesel engine again, won't it?
I believe so.
Pro modified diesel truck or modified diesel truck, we are allowed 3 turbos. This particular truck runs 2 turbos in a dual stage combination, run about 130 pounds boost. In the modified diesel class, as you can see, we're allowed to weigh 8,000 pounds. So you want to stack as much iron out front to put the front end on the ground. You want your front end to work as much as you can. In the modified class, we are allowed to run any kind of a cut tire. It doesn't have to be a DOT rated tire. Inside, you're allowed to do anything you want with a modified truck. All the creature comforts have been removed. The only thing in there is safety equipment and vital information.
Why don't you tell us about this new turbo that you've got here, Clint?
Well, this is a turbo we've been working on for a while. It's called the multi-stage turbo, MST for short. It's one of the Roar series turbos. And, you know, one of the things that everyone has always hated for years and years and years about turbos is its spool time, or its lag.
Yeah.
You know, it takes turbos a long time. Of course, the bigger the turbo is, the better it performs. And the bigger it is, the more spool time or the more lag time that it has. So by removing some of the lag, you get really happy customers, some really efficient diesel burning down low, so you get better economy, and and you end up with just better, as far as the spool up and the drivability in the bottom, more torque. So what we've done is the MST technology is basically a very small or a very big turbo with very small turbo mannerisms. Now the evolutionary portion of this turbocharger is the valve that we've installed in the turbine housing. All the exhaust gases exit from the motor and they're diverted into the one small volute. A typical turbocharger uses 2 volutes and all the exhaust gas energy is divided into 2 of them, so you lose your efficiency and lose your drive pressure. We've taken all the exhaust gas energy and driven it into one nozzle, and the one nozzle drives the exhaust gas temperatures at about twice the speed of the normal turbocharger. So in essence what we end up with is a turbocharger that's already up to speed, it's already spooling. As the exhaust gas energy is accelerated out of the motor, as the engine pumps more air, this valve is actually moved over and it moves into the secondary volute, which acts more as a conventional turbocharger. Of course, this turbocharger is about 20% bigger than what you're going to see on a normal vehicle. So once we get that turbocharger up to speed and we're opening the secondary volute, then we're already we're into that big turbocharger feel, and that's where the big power boost comes from. We're seeing around 50 pounds of boost on this turbocharger, which is not real uncommon as far as boost pressures go, but what is uncommon, at 50 pounds of boost, we're only seeing 50 pounds of drive pressure, which means that engine is really breathing. So it allows this turbo to absolutely get with the program, zip up there quickly, and the government loves it because it is emissions friendly, and the wives love it because it's shortening fuel costs. Very, very economical.
Let's talk about your torque converter and how it's helped the sled pullers with the automatic transmissions now.
With the introduction of the triple lock, we brought it out a couple years ago, and we've pretty much all the trucks in the past have been pulling with standard transmissions. That's because the automatic really wouldn't hold up. So we integrated the triple lock torque converter with our transmission, and now you're going to see over 90% of the vehicles out there on the pulling track today are running the triple lock torque converter. One of the big reasons the automatics are being so successful, because they have the advantage of having a torque converter to spool these turbos to get off the line, then they have a gear selection. We can lock the torque converter clutch up so it acts like a standard transmission or a manual, accelerate through the gears and actually upshift and downshift at the end of the track to get all that power to the rear wheels, and they're picking up another 8 or 10 feet on average by utilizing the gear sets. And then with some of our hybrid stuff, the hybrid triple locks, now we're building some really high stall stuff for these guys, which is the same production stuff that's in everybody's vehicles. We just changed the stall a little bit to really optimize these things. Anything that's diesel powered that's automatic, there's a triple lock available for it, and for the most part there are 1 or 2 part numbers. We don't make much variations for them. It's for the guys that are pulling and putting a lot of miles on them. That's one of the nice things about them, is we can offer a 3-year 100,000 mile warranty on them. We pretty much ship them out, put them in, and you don't have to worry about it.
There's more Guns and Gears right after this.
We're here with Dan Dykema from Azure Biodiesel, and we want to talk a little bit about what you've got here to show us about your biodiesel product.
Well, Dan, we've got a product here called the Fuel Meister. It allows you to make your own biodiesel in your garage or workshop for between 50 and 70 cents a gallon.
Well, that's really something with today's diesel prices on where it goes. What does it take as far as raw materials, and I mean, how do you make your own biodiesel?
Well, the Fuel Meister is a turnkey machine. You just need to add the 3 ingredients. The 3 ingredients are used vegetable oil that you typically get for free from restaurants, like used French fry oil. The other 2 ingredients are methanol, which is racing alcohol, and then lye, sodium hydroxide, like Red Devil lye from the hardware store.
Okay, and so that you can take those ingredients and you've got the raw material. I mean, so you're just using standard restaurant vegetable oil that they're having to pay for to get rid of, and so you're taking it away from them so they have no cost.
That's correct. I'm saving my busiest restaurant several $100s a year because they no longer have to pay to get rid of their oil. With the Fuel Meister, you can make 40-gallon batches, so using 40 gallons of oil, 8 gallons of methanol, and about 2 pounds of lye, and when you're done you'll have around 40 gallons of finished biodiesel.
And since we're sitting here and standing next to the machine, why don't you just kind of walk us through what the machine is and what we have to do to get this biodiesel out at the back?
Great. With the Fuel Meister, what you'll do is you'll bring in 40 gallons of oil into this large tank. Then you'll let it mix for a couple minutes and do a simple test of the oil, which will determine how much lye or sodium hydroxide to put in. Then you'll put the sodium hydroxide in the small tank, and then you'll add 8 gallons of methanol to that.
And so after you've added all the components in it, so you can set this all up, get the components all added in, then what happens with the machine next?
Well, the next step is to take your sodium methoxide and mix it in with your oil. So you simply turn on the switch, manipulate the valves on the bottom so that what's in this tank will end up being mixed in this tank. Then you let it mix for an hour with the timer, and you don't have to be there for that hour. When the timer shuts off, the pump will stop circulating it, stop mixing it, and then the next morning you'll drain the glycerin off the bottom, and you'll be left with about 40 gallons of good usable biodiesel.
So really, to start it out, you've got just a few 20 minutes or so to get the machine ready to go, get it started.
Dan, we figure it's about an hour of hands-on time per 40-gallon batch, with about 24 hours total time.
So almost every 24 hours, I can get another 40 gallons of fuel out of the machine.
You bet. You can make 40 gallons of fuel every 24 hours. We also sell a larger machine called the Fuelmeister Plus. You can make 80 gallons every 24 hours. When you make biodiesel, you don't have to filter the oil or do any serious cleaning to it. As long as it'll fit through a window screen and the oil is liquid, you should be able to use it. During the chemical process, what happens is the heavy part of the oil is separated from the light part of the oil. It's a chemical process called transesterification, and any debris will drop out with this waste product called glycerin, and then you're left with the clean biodiesel on top. With the Fuelmeister, you'll drain the glycerin out the bottom, and you'll be left with clean biodiesel on top.
Okay, so that's what the machine does, added with the chemicals and that 24-hour period. Then we get that nice biodiesel fuel up on top, ready for us to pump out into our vehicle.
You bet. And you can mix biodiesel with regular diesel at any ratio, back and forth. You can run it all by itself or just a little bit in with your regular diesel. It's very versatile. You can run it in any diesel engine without modifying the vehicle or the engine. You can even heat your house with it if you have a fuel oil furnace.
Well, that's really something. So I can take this back up to your truck, which I saw a 55-gallon drum, fill my vehicle up, and not have to do anything to it then and be ready to go.
That's correct. And it'll, like I said, it'll blend with regular diesel, petrodiesel, or it'll run by itself.
And Dan, if we're trying to get in touch with you, where can they get in touch with you and find out about this biodiesel, about the Fuelmeister?
Well, there's a few ways, Dan, to get in touch with me. The first would be to call me. My number is 641-594-3247. Another way would be by the website, which once you're at the website, you can email me. My website is www.azurebiodiesel.com.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
Tammy Munn, it's great to see you out here again today. I know you've been busy running the brackets all morning, got the times, you're getting ready to go into finals. You ran with the celebrity today and let a celebrity drive your truck. How's it going for you this weekend?
So far, so good. We did some truck pulling yesterday and on Friday. So today, though, I love drag racing, and it's all about the competition. I did have a celebrity in the truck today and kind of taught him what was going on. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We're Powerhouse Diesel, and we just really are trying out a lot of different stuff that we sell to our customers, and it's all about having fun.
Oh, it's great. I mean, to take the same truck, go over there and pull, and then bring it over today to put it on the drag strip, it's just got to be a blast. I mean, last year was a good year for you in Division 3 with us. You won the Noel Thomas Award, which was for our most and best of our drivers, and you finished second in points in the year, so I mean, that had to be great for you as well.
It was a blast. Considering it was my first year doing any of it, I had a lot of fun, and we've been out quite a bit this year too, into Indianapolis at the Diesel Nationals, down to Bowling Green, Kentucky, and etc. We've got a lot of support behind us this year with Tooth and Nail Records. They're a sponsor for us, and we run a lot of ATS stuff, and we always have their logo on our truck as well.